Imagine being a powerful emperor ruling over the vast Roman Empire, yet plagued by one nagging question: who can I truly trust? This was the reality for Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher king who, amidst the grandeur of his reign, took to his journal to contemplate the trustworthiness of those around him. From his reflections, he extracted 7 distinct behaviors that ring alarm bells about a person's character and intentions. Today, we dive deep into these ancient insights that remain startlingly relevant. If you've ever found yourself questioning whom to trust or how to judge character in your personal or professional circles, this video is tailored for you. We will uncover these 7 alarming behaviors, using the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers to guide us in modern discernment. But how exactly do these behaviors manifest in people today? And how do they impact your relationships and success? Stay with us as we explore these critical insights, beginning with a surprising truth about how an inflated ego can undermine not just personal growth, but also mutual respect and trust. Segment 1: Egoism. In the echoes of ancient Roman corridors, let's follow the tale of a promising senator whose career was steeped in the teachings of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Despite his potential for greatness, his story serves as a poignant illustration of how ego can overshadow wisdom and lead to downfall. This senator, let's call him Lucius, was a man of ambition and intelligence, but his career took a dramatic turn when his decisions began to center around his personal glory rather than the collective good of the Republic. Epictetus once wisely stated, "Ego is the enemy of wisdom." Lucius, in his rise, began to see himself as infallible, ignoring the counsel of his peers and focusing solely on what would enhance his personal status and power. He pushed for political reforms that served more to spotlight his image than to genuinely benefit the citizenry. This ego-driven approach resulted in political isolation and, ultimately, his dramatic fall from grace. The people he overlooked were the very architects of his undoing. As we dissect Lucius's story, we see why Epictetus emphasized the peril of letting ego lead. When we become consumed by our own narrative and superiority, we blind ourselves to the collective wisdom and the reality of our limitations. Reflect for a moment on this insight and ask yourself, can you think of a time when ego led someone astray in your life? Feel free to share in the comments. As Seneca once insightfully noted, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. This suggests that our fears and failings, much like those of Lucius, are not just events but are colored heavily by our perceptions. Our ego. Let's ponder. How might our own egos color our perceptions and decisions in our personal and professional lives? Navigating life without succumbing to the distortions of ego requires a conscious, continual effort. It's a challenge that calls for reflection and humility, traits that allow us to learn from others and from the missteps of those like Lucius. As we wrap up this tale of ego and downfall, consider how a shift away from egocentric behaviors could reshape your interactions and decisions. Keep this inquiry in mind as we transition seamlessly into our next discussion, tackling another deep-seated issue that can skew our paths and perceptions. Stay tuned as we delve into the complex world where intentions and truth sometimes fail to meet. Segment 2: Dishonesty. In the realm of Stoicism, dishonesty stands as a barrier to virtue and a tranquil mind. It distorts reality and harms not just the person at the receiving end, but also the one who deceives. Let's explore why being truthful is paramount through the lens of Stoicism. Imagine the respected Stoic philosopher Seneca, who once suffered a deep betrayal by someone he trusted dearly. This tale unfolds when a friend whom he believed shared his Stoic values deceived him in a business venture. The repercussions were not only financial but also emotional. Seneca was left to grapple with disappointment and a reevaluation of his relationships, reflecting on the widespread impact of dishonesty. As Seneca insightfully noted, a gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. This quote underscores that the essence of actions lies in the intentions behind them. Honesty anchors itself deeply in one's intentions. It's about aligning your words and actions with truth, demonstrating integrity and trustworthiness. Now think about your own life. How important is honesty in your daily interactions? Reflect on whether your actions truly mirror your thoughts, and whether you choose honesty even when it's challenging. Bringing this into a contemporary setting, consider a business leader known for their commitment to transparency. Their honesty not only boosts morale among employees, but builds a lasting foundation of trust with customers and partners, showing that honesty strengthens relationships and builds enduring success. Let these stories remind us that our interactions and successes are deeply rooted in our commitment to truthfulness. As we transition from understanding the impacts of dishonesty, let's ponder how envy can subtly influence our actions and perceptions. Stay tuned as we delve into understanding and managing envy, a feeling that often intertwines subtly with our daily challenges and achievements. Segment 3. Envy. Just as dishonesty weaves a complex web of mistrust, envy subtly corrodes our ability to appreciate our own lives and virtues. Stoicism teaches us to focus on self-improvement rather than comparing ourselves to others, an essential lesson in today's hyper-connected world. Delving into the life of Marcus Aurelius, we find a powerful example of handling envy. When one of his generals achieved a significant victory, whispers of jealousy circulated among other officers. Instead of succumbing to envy, Marcus celebrated this success, using it to inspire unity and dedication within the ranks. His reaction highlights a core Stoic principle: to rejoice in the virtues and successes of others as if they were our own. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not the man who has too little that is poor, but the one who hankers after more." This statement serves as a cornerstone in understanding the destructiveness of envy. It prompts us to question, how does envy manifest in your own life? Reflect on moments where you felt less because someone else appeared to have more. How do these thoughts align with your goals and the person you strive to be? Envy can easily cloud our judgment, leading us to undervalue our accomplishments and intrinsic worth. It might make us resentful and blind to our possibilities and the uniqueness of our path. By embracing a Stoic mindset, however, we learn to channel our energies towards personal growth and fostering genuine happiness for others' prosperity. As we wrap up our discussion on envy and its impacting our sense of contentment, let's gear up to explore the intricacies of another profound emotional landscape. What happens when we lose control over our emotions? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into understanding the Stoic approach to managing emotions in our everyday lives. Segment 4. Lack of control over emotion. Imagine walking a tightrope suspended high above, where every misstep or sudden gust of wind threatens your balance. Just like that perilous walk, our emotional landscape can be just as tricky to navigate without the proper mastery. The Stoics believed in the strength of reigning over one's emotions, and nowhere is this more crucial than in the domain of anger. Let us revisit the ancient world, where a Stoic disciple named Cleanthus struggled with his temper. One day, driven by rage over a perceived injustice, Cleanthus lashed out in a public market, causing harm not only to others but also to his own standing in the community. His momentary loss of control cascaded into a series of tragic events, culminating in his exile from the city. This story reminds us that uncontrolled emotions can have far-reaching consequences, turning a transient feeling into a permanent life alteration. Reflecting on this, Marcus Aurelius powerfully encapsulated the Stoic resolve with his words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote is a beacon for those striving to embody Stoic calm, emphasizing the immense power and freedom that comes from internal rather than external dominion. Now think about your own life. How often have your emotions dictated your actions in ways that later caused regret or harm? What situations triggered these feelings, and could a more measured response have altered the outcome? Indeed, understanding and moderating our emotions is crucial in maintaining not just personal peace, but also in fostering healthy interactions and decisions. As we approach our next discussion, consider how resting a bit too heavily on our own opinions without flexibility can lead to more than just internal conflict, but can ripple out, affecting others and our future paths. Let's peel back the layers on this subject as we move forward into exploring the complex world of stubbornness and its implications on our journey towards Stoic wisdom. Segment 5. Stubbornness. Imagine walking a familiar path every day, unwilling to veer off or explore a new route, even if the old path becomes obstructed. This metaphorical stubbornness can significantly limit one's personal and professional growth. In the world of Stoicism, adaptability is seen as a form of wisdom. Take, for instance, Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. He once had a student who was vehemently opposed to adopting new methods of learning, sticking rigidly to his old habits. Zeno tried to guide him by explaining that the rigidity of his mindset would only lead to missed opportunities and stagnation in his philosophical growth. Despite Zeno's guidance, the student persisted with his inflexible approach, ultimately failing to realize his potential as a philosopher. This story illuminates not just a resistance to change, but the consequences of such stubbornness. As Marcus Aurelius once profoundly stated, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. It suggests that life isn't about moving gracefully in predefined patterns, but rather about navigating challenges adaptively and resiliently. Reflect on this. Is there a moment where stubbornness hindered your growth? How did you overcome it? Contemplating this could be crucial in understanding the barriers you might unconsciously set up for yourself and realizing the value of flexibility. As we explore these ideas, one might wonder what holds us back from being empathetic, an equally vital component of Stoic wisdom which we will delve deeper into as we continue. This reflection on empathy and understanding is not only crucial for our self-development, but also for how we relate with others around us. Let's explore how unlocking a deeper empathy can further enhance our lives in our next discussion. Segment 6. Lack of empathy. As we delve deeper into the nuanced world of Stoicism and its practical implications, we encounter a critical behavior that often undermines our interpersonal connections: a lack of empathy. In one compelling episode, Epictetus, a philosopher famed for his Stoic wisdom, showcased a profound sense of empathy in stark contrast to a peer. This particular peer, consumed by pride and detachment, criticized a young student harshly for a minor error. Meanwhile, Epictetus approached the situation with a markedly different demeanor. He gently corrected the student, using the error as a constructive learning moment. This tale not only highlights the downfall of the peer, whose lack of empathy eventually led to isolation and disfavor, but also underscores the success Epictetus experienced through his empathetic approach. He became revered, his teachings more sought after, primarily because he connected deeply with those around him. As Marcus Aurelius elegantly puts it, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This quote invites us to introspect and foster empathy, understanding not only the actions but also the motivations of others. Now I invite you to reflect. How has showing empathy benefited your life or relationships? Think about a time when understanding someone else's position made a significant difference. Continuing on this train of thought, it's essential to remember that empathy not only creates a fertile ground for personal connections, but also nurtures our own inner peace and contentment. It's in these moments of understanding and shared human experience that Stoicism really finds its practical power. As we transition from understanding the pitfalls of a lack of empathy, let's consider another aspect that can either enrich or impoverish our lives, depending on how we handle it. The way we respond to goodwill and kindness, our sense of gratitude, shapes not just our relationships but our entire outlook on life. This leads us towards our upcoming discussion on ingratitude, another critical conversation in understanding and practicing Stoicism in our daily lives. Stay with us as we explore how ingratitude, often overlooked, can subtly detract from our life's contentment and harmony. Segment 7. Ingratitude. Have you ever thought about how ingratitude affects your life and relationships? Ingratitude is when we fail to appreciate the kindness others have offered us. It might seem small, but it can seriously undermine our personal and communal ties. According to Stoicism, gratitude is crucial in cultivating virtue and maintaining social harmony. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, once insightfully noted, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." This highlights the Stoic belief in the importance of acknowledging every act of kindness, large or small. Failing to do so not only damages our relationships, but can lead to a solitary, unfulfilled life. Let's discuss the behaviors we should avoid to not fall into the pit of ingratitude. 1. Disregarding help. Sometimes we overlook the small acts of kindness that people do for us every day, like a friendly greeting or a helpful advice. 2. Entitlement. Feeling entitled to assistance or kindness without acknowledging it can isolate us from others. 3. Forgetting to say thank you. It's a small phrase that carries a lot of weight. Not saying it can make people feel unappreciated. Now let's illustrate this with a story. There was once a young man who practiced Stoicism. He had a mentor who taught him valuable life lessons and stood by him during his toughest times. However, the young man never expressed his gratitude towards his mentor. He believed his achievements were solely the result of his own efforts and resilience. Over time, his mentor stopped offering support, feeling unappreciated, and the young man found himself alone. He struggled to connect with others because his lack of gratitude was off-putting to those around him. His solitary life became a harsh reminder of the importance of gratitude. This story teaches us the vital role gratitude plays in fostering and maintaining relationships. It acts as a bridge between individuals, creating bonds built on mutual respect and appreciation. In light of this story and the principles of Stoicism, here is something to think about. What are you most grateful for today? Share with our community. Reflecting on this can help us recognize the value of every kind gesture or help we receive, and ensure that we remain connected with those around us. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you. It's about feeling it deeply and expressing it sincerely. By doing so, we enrich our lives and the lives of others, creating a more connected and virtuous society. As we approach the end of our journey through the lessons of Stoicism and the reign of Marcus Aurelius, let's reflect on a powerful anecdote from the life of this philosopher-emperor. Picture Marcus Aurelius. Towards the end of his reign, amidst the dim light of dawn, he writes in his journal, a practice of reflection he maintains despite the weight of imperial responsibilities. He writes not of battles won or of lands conquered, but of the battles within, the ongoing struggle against negative traits that undermine human character. Imagine him pondering over his rule, acknowledging his own imperfections, yet continuously striving to overcome them. Marcus Aurelius once noted, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This statement embodies his lifelong battle against letting negative traits such as hatred, envy, or pride overshadow his judgments or actions. Even as an emperor, he knew that the real conquest lies in conquering one's negative impulses. Through his reflections, Marcus Aurelius teaches us that power and position should be used not to express these detrimental traits, but to set an example of virtue and restraint. Reflect on his life, a testimony to the power of self-mastery and introspection. His reign was not just a testament to Stoic philosophy, but a call to all of us to aspire towards our highest, most virtuous selves by conquering our lowest impulses. Now, as we wrap up, I encourage you to ponder this question. Which of these traits do you think is most detrimental to one's character, and why? Reflect on how overcoming this could change not only your life, but also how you impact those around you. If you enjoyed exploring these ancient insights with us, and if you're eager to dive deeper into the wisdom-packed stories of philosophy, consider subscribing to our channel. Every story, every lesson could be the key to unlocking a more profound understanding of yourself and the world around you. Thank you for watching, and remember, in the wise words of Marcus Aurelius, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Let that guide you until we meet again.